Hi everyone, my name is Rachel, and this is a presentation concerning the implementation of an in-person class concerning the health of lesbian, gay, transsexual, queer plus communities, or the LGBTQ plus community. Why is this important? Throughout the nation and our community, the population is becoming more diverse, which will most likely be continued. The LGBTQ community has historically stated that they have experienced bias, discrimination, and perceived inadequate and inappropriate care. In fact, almost 1/3 of LGBTQ plus individuals have delayed receiving care for their health needs due to previous experiences of harassment and violence in the hospital setting. Many nurses and providers have expressed discomfort in caring for this community, which can cause their needs to be overlooked, which is often due to unknown discriminations and microaggressions among the providers. Education regarding the LGBTQ plus community has been shown to be relatively scarce, which causes nurses and providers to have a lack of knowledge about the needs and health issues in this community. This project was completed to improve the care of LGBTQ plus individuals and reduce health disparities among this population. Change to be implemented. The change to be proposed is an in-person curriculum-based educational class. It would be held in the hospital, and it would be given to newly hired providers and nurses and offered to nurses and providers that are currently employed as well. The class would be implemented into the new hire orientation education that is already present in the hospital, and the class would cover several aspects. The aspects would include the importance of obtaining preferred pronouns and preferred names on all patients, as well as how to do this, how to obtain a detailed sexual history on these patients, and the importance of obtaining a sexual history, the health needs and issues involved with this community, existing health disparities within the community, and how to provide culturally competent care. And why would this class make a positive impact? Well, in-person education regarding preferred name and pronouns, along with detailed sexual history, has been shown to be essential in improvement of care for LGBTQ individuals. In-person curriculum-based education on LGBTQ plus health showed significant improvements in care and better patient-provider relationships. Knowing how to provide culturally competent care is important in caring for all individuals, but it plays a huge part in the care of LGBTQ individuals and knowing how to address their healthcare needs in a culturally appropriate way. It has shown that education about the care needs and existing disparities of the LGBTQ plus community has improved perceived care and increased the desire to seek healthcare among these individuals. Surprisingly, 85% of healthcare providers state that they have not received education on the health needs of the LGBTQ plus population since hire or ever. And what would it take to make this change? Newly hired employees already receive education in their hospital orientation, as mentioned before, so this could be added to that and available for all of the currently employed staff as well. To make the addition, the education department of the hospital and the hospital in general need to be on board. An individual from the community must be willing to aid in the education part of the class or in sharing their experiences of healthcare. There will need to be a spot in the hospital where the class can be held. A healthcare professional that is knowledgeable about the LGBTQ plus community could also aid in teaching, or one could be trained through other classes that are available through other organizations. There would also need to be appropriate funding for the class, including curriculum and coursework. So with this change, there would be several key stakeholders impacted, and some of these key stakeholders include the education department, newly hired nurses and providers, as well as existing staff, because the newly hired nurses and providers would be taking the class on new hire, and then existing staff would need to be encouraged to take the class being already employed. The LGBTQ plus community would be impacted as well in a positive way. Directors of the nursing departments in the hospital for enforcing the class, and the chief nursing officer for approval. Okay, the plan for communication. So firstly, a detailed plan of action will need to be made with all of the steps necessary to make the change. And then these steps would be presented to the CNO or the Chief Nursing Officer and other key stakeholders, along with the importance, benefits, and the risks of the change. After approval, the class would be advertised in each department in the hospital and through the electronic communication platforms that the hospital uses. This could also be added into new higher education to ensure that the class is taken. After the class has taken place, class evaluations will be performed, and evaluation and statistics regarding provider knowledge about this community would be collected. The information collected from evaluations and statistics would then be given to the directors of the departments and other key stakeholders, including the CNO, to ensure the class is making a positive impact, and so that any changes can be made to make the class better if needed. As with any new change, there are always risks and challenges that can take place. So with this change, some of the risks and challenges could be a lack of funding, finding an LGBTQ plus individual that'd be willing to aid in the education in the class, finding a healthcare professional that is knowledgeable about LGBTQ health, lack of staffing to teach the class and to have individuals attend the class. Or with all of the correct steps in place, this could make a great impact on the LGBTQ plus community and aid in the reduction of disparities within the community. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you all can see this making as big of an impact as I do. And here are my references.